Have you ever found yourself watching another woman, maybe someone on social media, maybe someone in your circle, and thinking, maybe I need to be more like her? Perhaps you started adjusting the way that you show up, changing the way that you speak, presenting yourself differently, because somehow it feels like that is what works, as if the woman that you already are isn't quite enough. And if you have ever felt that, especially in this season where you have decided to step into something new, rediscover yourself, or finally go after what you have been dreaming about, this message is for you. Hi, beautiful friend. I'm Ileana. I'm here to help you reset and renew your mindset so you can step into this next chapter with clarity, confidence, and self respect. And today's message comes from a very real place. Because here's what I know to be true, and what I want you to hear before anything else. The very thing that you think you need to change about yourself might actually be the thing that makes you the most powerful, most magnetic, most uniquely you. And in midlife, this is not just about confidence or mindset. This is about finally betting on yourself and showing up as the extraordinary woman that you already are, and going after the life, the dream, the reinvention that you've been dreaming about. What I know for sure, because I have experienced this myself, is that midlife has a way of stirring something deep inside of us. Maybe it's the desire to finally pursue the dream that you set aside decades ago. Maybe it is the longing to feel yourself again, not someone else's mother, not someone else's partner, not the woman that holds everything together for everyone else, but you, the one with desires, the one with gifts that you are until now beginning to fully uncover. Think about how much of your life you spent showing up for everyone else. And you did it beautifully. But somewhere in the middle of all of that, you quietly moved yourself to the back of the line. And I will add that for many of us, it was all worth it and fulfilling because that's what we wanted to do during those stages of our lives. But now, in this new chapter, something has shifted. There's a voice inside of us that says, there is more for me. I am not done evolving. This is not all there is. Friend, that is not a midlife crisis. That's a midlife awakening, and it is one of the most powerful, most sacred things that can happen to us because midlife is the beginning of the most intentional chapter of our life. The chapter where you finally get to ask, who am I now? What do I truly want? But here's where so many of us get lost in the process of uncovering who we want to become. Instead of turning inward and listening to that inner voice, instead of leaning into that reinvention that is calling us, we turn outwards. We start watching other women, studying what seems to be working for them, quietly comparing where we are to where they appear to be. And before we realize it, we start adjusting, trying to do it the right way. And in doing so, we disconnect from the very thing that makes us uniquely us. Here's the thing, this is not a character flaw, this is not a weakness. Your brain is actually doing something it was designed to do. Science tells us that we are wired at a very deep level for social learning. We watch others, we compare, we adjust. For thousands of years, that instinct kept our ancestors safe. Blending in with the tribe meant survival. But, friend, in the life that you are trying to live now, blending in is not going to build the life that you are dreaming about. Blending in keeps you invisible. When you look at another woman thriving and your first thought is, I need to be more like her, you are not in your creative self. You are in your survival self. And your survival self will help you build something that looks like what is already working for someone else, not something that is authentically you. And here's what science tells us about why being yourself is actually the most powerful thing that you can do. Your brain is constantly scanning everything around you and filtering out anything unfamiliar, anything predictable, anything that has already been seen before. But the moment something different appears, your brain cannot ignore it. Research confirms that novelty automatically commands attention. It is not a choice, it is simply how we are wired, which means when you show up unapologetically yourself, your own energy, your presence, and your own truth, it is evident that you did not earn that attention by trying harder or being more like someone else. You earned it simply by being yourself. And know that that same power lives in you right now with everything you are and everything you have lived. And here's something I want you to embrace because this is actually one of the most exciting times of our lives. When you break the mold of what people expect from you, when you pursue the dream they thought was behind you, when you reinvent yourself in ways that surprises even the people who thought they knew you, this will happen. Some people will be inspired, some will cheer you on, and yes, some will be judgmental or uncomfortable. But in midlife, we finally have the wisdom to understand that judgmental or uncomfortable reactions are never really about us. They are about what our courage stirs up in someone else. Their surprise, their doubt, their discomfort, that is simply proof that you dared to grow beyond the version of you they thought they knew. Our job is not to make everyone comfortable. Our job is to be authentic because that is the energy that makes us most magnetic. And if the people around you don't quite understand the woman that you are becoming yet, that is okay. Not everyone will be ready for your reinvention. At the end of the day, the right people, your people, will always recognize the real you. They will see you, celebrate you, and love everything you are becoming. So, how do we actually start our process of becoming the person we envision? Because knowing the theory and how the brain works is one thing, taking real steps towards your best chapter is another. And that is exactly what I want to help you do right now, based on what I have learned during my own personal development journey. So, first, get honest and intentional about what you are consuming. And I mean all of it, the social media accounts you follow, the conversations that you allow, the voices you let speak into your life, the rooms, physical and virtual, that you spend your time in. All of it is either feeding the woman that you are becoming or quietly pulling back towards the woman that you are trying to grow beyond. Ask yourself honestly, after spending time with this content, these people, these conversations, do I feel more like myself, expanded, energized, inspired to step more boldly into my next chapter? Or do I walk away feeling smaller? Because there is a very real difference between the voices that empower you and the ones that disempower you, between the content that fuels your growth and the comparison that steals your confidence, between the relationships that celebrate who you are becoming and the ones that only feel comfortable with who you used to be. So you get to choose what you let in. And in this season, more than any other, that choice matters deeply because that will eventually shape what you believe is possible for you. Not what looks reasonable, not what seems realistic given your age or your circumstances, not what others expect from you in this season, but what you genuinely want. Take time to sit with this. Ask yourself If fear had no voice and age had no limit, what would I go after? What would I build? What would I finally give myself permission to be and to become? And what is the life that lights something up inside of me every time I allow myself to think about it? And then write it down, not as a wish, as an intention, as a declaration, because now it is your turn to be brave enough to claim it. Because a dream you keep quietly to yourself never gets the chance to become real. Third, stop apologizing for expanding and stop making excuses for going after what you want. Many of us feel the need to justify our dream, to explain why we are changing, to soften our ambition so others don't feel uncomfortable, to shrink back down to the version of ourselves that everyone else around us is used to. But you do not need to apologize for wanting more. And you do not need to wait for anyone's blessing to begin. This is your life, this is your season, and the desire you feel for something more, for better health, deeper purpose, a dream finally pursued, a version of yourself finally expressed. That desire is not selfish. Fourth, use others as a mirror for inspiration, not a map to follow. When you see a woman who you admire, someone who is living boldly, pursuing her dreams, showing up unapologetically, resist the urge to ask, how do I do what she does? Instead, ask yourself, what does watching her awaken in me? Let me tell you, that is not envy. That is recognition. That is the part of you that knows I have something like that inside of me too. I don't remember who I heard this from, but start saying, if she can, I can too. Let that person you admire be the spark. Let her courage remind you of your own. Let her story give you permission to finally tell yours. But do not make her your blueprint because you are a completely different woman with a completely different story, a different set of gifts, and a different calling on your life. And fifth, take one step today and then another tomorrow. I know I come back to this so often in my messages, and it's because it is the one thing that will start to change everything for us. Not the planning, not the inspiration, not the vision board or the journal entries or the conversations about what you might do someday, but the action. And in midlife, this matters more than ever because we are not 25. We don't have decades to circle back around. We have lived long enough to know that time is genuinely precious and it is asking us to take action. This does not mean the whole plan, the perfect strategy, or when everything lines up just right. Just one step today in the direction of the woman that you are becoming. One conversation started, one idea written down, because the one step sends a powerful message to your brain, to your heart, to the dream that has been waiting patiently for you to take it seriously. Do not let another day pass in the waiting room of your own life. Your next chapter is not ahead of you, somewhere in the future. It begins the moment you decide to take that first step. And as a first step, check the description below. I've created a 30-day midlife reset challenge to help you get started with some action steps. So let me bring this back to where we started. That moment when you look at another woman and think, maybe I need to be more like her. I want you to remember this instead. You don't need to become someone else to step into your power. The reinvention you are being called into is not about becoming someone new. It is about finally becoming more fully yourself. And let me tell you this, I say this not just for you, but for myself too, because I am on this journey right alongside you, still learning, still growing, still choosing every single day to show up as myself, even when it feels uncomfortable. Because The woman I am becoming is not built by copying someone else. She is built every time I choose to honor who I already am. And that same truth belongs to you. You are not here to blend in. You are here to bring something different, something real, something that only you, with your history, with your wisdom, with your particular way of moving through this world, can offer. I truly hope this encouraged you today as much as it encouraged me to create it, because I write these messages for us as I continue to do the work alongside you and show up more fully every single day. If it resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share it with a woman in your life who needs this reminder today. And click the link below to access the tools that I've created to help you step more fully into this next chapter. And let me remind you, friend, you are not too old, it is not too late, and you are not behind. You are right on time for the woman that you are becoming. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, take care of yourself. I'll see you soon. Bye, friend.